Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mark from Solar Games, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how to invest in seal products going into a recession. So, at this point, it's pretty clear that I don't know about economically if we're going to a recession or not. It does feel that way, especially with interest rates continuously on the rise. It is making cash a lot more valuable than ever before. When I look at investments today, I think about, well, if I can put my money with a treasury bond or CD and earn 5%, pretty much guaranteed, why put that cash in Magic where I might lose 30%, right? So it's a really interesting dynamic now. So I have a lot less tolerance for risk within Magic now than before. And that, of course, drives my price lower. But one of the things that I think a lot of people make mistakes during times like this is they go out there and because they've been a hero in 2020, 2021, 2022, they may have earned some money or earned some really good money in 2020, 2021, but then started realizing problems are happening in 2022. And now they've gotten to the point where they might be over leveraged and they have to pay credit card bills or whatever. And guess what? It's you're not being able to sell your product and you might have to take a loss. And at this point, I don't even mean individuals. I know there are individuals who obviously may have purchased products and they're just kind of sitting on them. I hope you're doing that and you have the cash and you have the free cash to go do other things and you're not forced to sell, but in a position of forced liquidation at the current state is really not positive for you, of course. Okay, but that's not really what this video is about. Today's video is about, well, how do we think about investing? What do we do right now, right? So in this really uncertain market, I think the easy answer is just stop investing, sell your position, sell at a loss, but you stop the bleeding, right? A lot of people think this way. And I would say a lot of people think this way and they're basically wrong. Because one of the problems with, this type of thinking is, yes, you are technically, we don't know how low this could fall. We don't know if booster boxes are going to $40, $30, $20, but I can pretty much tell you that unless, and I would even venture this far, I would say unless Magic goes out of business, right? The company cease to exist, they stop making products, the cards are not going to be worthless, the boxes are not going to be worthless. And I would also, in addition to add, even if they go out of business, I don't think the cards are going to be worthless. And this is the really interesting part, right? Like, just think about it. If Wizard tomorrow goes out of business, they stop releasing new sets, would the market suddenly just dry up for Magic and nobody wants to buy any more cards? Sure, a lot of people probably will migrate to a different game, and that's exactly what's going to happen. But I still suspect a lot of players would still want to pay money for older boxes. And maybe you have a little bit of a liquidation event from some people who don't know or feel like, uncertain about certain boxes. But some of the investors might look at this situation and say, well, guess what? All the draft boosters out there, ever printed, overprinted, whatever, there's a finite good now. Until somebody picks up Wizard of the Coast, somebody picks up the IP, you can't print any more draft boosters. So whatever's left out there, that's a finite known amount. So that actually may raise the price, right? So when you think about it this way, there's really no scenario where these boxes go to zero, ever. So there obviously is a price point where it makes sense to buy. I'm not telling you to go out there and pay MSRP for the boxes and hope it's going to double your money in a year. Not saying that at all. In fact, Wizard has shown their hands that that's not going to work. That's a terrible investment strategy. And if you're doing that today, you're probably going to get burned, right? But what I am saying is that if there's a price, for example, if Baldur's Gate comes out, very much hated Baldur's Gate, Commander Legends, Baldur's Gate draft boosters, let's say they're $60. What is the real downside risk of buying at 60? 50? 40. There's a price where basically you're guaranteed that's not a problem, right? And you purchase it. And that's what I'm trying to say. The strategy that you have to have really clear in your head is this. You have to understand, which set do you like the most? Out of all the sets that's released out of 2020, 2021, 2022, you could say none of them. Then my recommendation, don't buy anything. Or you can say none of them, but if any set is under $40, I'll buy. Cool. Now you've just set for yourself a price trigger. If anything like that happens, then you should go buy because you've kind of promised it to yourself, right? What I'm personally doing is I'm looking around and saying, hey, which set do I think is interesting? Which set do I think I like a lot? Which set do other players like a lot? This is why, honestly, in some ways, reasons why I go play. I play Magic because I want to hear what other players are saying. I'm a believer of Warren Buffett and his way of investing. And one of the things that he does a lot is he does basically on the ground research. He'll go to a store, look at a business, see what's going on, and then he'll figure out if that's some store he wants to invest money into. Because what Warren does is that he looks for good products or good companies, and then he waits until the price is really good. See, that's the key. It's not just that if it's a good company, you could buy it at any price. Don't do that. But if it's a good company, good card, good set, you can wait until the price is right, and then you purchase. Now, determining what the right price is, that's a very difficult decision, right? But at some point, you have to understand, what is my realistic downside risk of buying a certain card, collector's booster, draft booster, sealed product at a certain price? And that's the thing. If you can protect your downside risk and you have a number in mind, well, after that point, it doesn't matter. You can pay a certain amount and you'll be able to basically be okay. And that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, in this moment, even in this moment, in this super dark time of Magic, there is a number. I'll give you a couple, right? So I've told you before, my target price currently for most draft boosters, all of them really, for now, until I see certain things about different sets and whatever. And maybe for example, if I'm in my inventory, I'm short on Kaldheim, let's say, then maybe I'm willing to pay a little bit higher. But basically, I'm targeting 60. So especially if it's a draft booster I don't want, but the price falls below $60, sure, I'll pick up some. Crimson Vow was a good example of this, right? So that's the kind of thing you have to think about. What is your target price? Midnight Hunt, the other 3 boxes I bought, also same thing. It was under 60, I purchased it. But if you say Midnight Hunt, which I have a lot of now, and price is 75, not gonna buy it. 69, not gonna buy it, right? You have to be really disciplined about these things once you understand what your numbers are. That's number one. Number two is understand that there isn't really a price. Understand what price works for you, what that number you're comfortable with, right? So I've made my target prices like these, 60 for draft, etc. Collector's booster, as an example, it falls about below 100, definitely fine, right? If it's a special collector's boosters, one that has serialized cards, lost legends, etc., maybe I'm okay with raising that bar a little bit. I'm thinking somewhere around 120, 125, maybe okay. What I call premium collector's boosters, right? So, but you have to protect yourself. That's what I'm saying, right? Or other sets that we know the print run was short. If we know, for example, Commander Legends, print run was short, right? If the Commander Legends collector's booster falls below, let's say, I don't know, $200, probably okay to pick it up. As an example, it's not going to fall below 200. And that's why I don't really chase whatever current market price is, 300, 400, 500. So just personally, I'd rather buy something else instead. Again, money is very, very powerful right now. And so you should be very stingy with your money, because you can do a lot with that money. And most of the time, if whatever you can do right now, the simplest thing you can do, you can earn 5%. So you really have to think, what is an investment I could put my money into that will earn me more than, or have such a low risk of going down that I can actually get more money out of it too. So that's just some advice for you. Personally, I'm not stopping buying. In fact, I'm probably a little bit more aggressive now during this phase. Now that's me, and that's my financial situation, which is not going to be the same as yours. So please, please, please understand first, if you're going to do this thing, collectibles is a very volatile asset class. And if you don't have the free spending cash, then don't invest money into this. Number two, make sure you're maxing out other more reliable, investment classes that you have access to, 401ks, etc. Especially when your company gives you matching or whatever, do those things first. Don't put your money into collectibles, right? It's really risky, right? And number three, even if you do decide to pass, you pass the number 1, number 2 test and you decide to put money into collectibles, I don't recommend putting a lot of money into it. Definitely diversifying is going to be a lot more safe for most people. So that's just what my recommendations are. Again, all just for fun. This is educational. I'm not a licensed broker advising you to do X, Y, Z. So this is not a licensed advice to you. Okay. Just make sure we understand this is just for entertainment purposes. I'm just telling you what I do. I'm not telling you to do a certain thing at all. Okay. With that out of the way, So personally, I'm thinking don't put any more than probably 5%, 10%. You know, really diversify your asset classes. Don't put a bunch of money into one thing. It's usually not a smart thing to do. Cool. Look, guys, cash is king right now. Just be really stingy with your money. If it's not a good deal, you can walk away, roll the dice again, and you'll get something else. There's going to be new opportunities all the time, so you don't have to go FOMO, chase after anything specific, okay? But at the same time, if you really like a set, if you like a certain thing, magic card, whatever, you want to buy it, I say, look, honestly, the price is so good right now, probably will be fine. So you can go buy it, but don't go crazy, okay? Mark, Solar Games, I'm out. See ya.